Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allan here, also known as Nana with Teach Me Nana. And today we're going to be making an Easter basket. And we're actually casing this from something Rachel Tesman did. But I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I experienced while creating, all right? So it's all about creating and sharing. And not only is this good for an Easter basket, right? It could be a basket for any occasion, like May Day, if you celebrate doing May Day and doing little baskets by people's front doors. Or you could also use it for Mother's Day or any other time that you want to, right? So it's very versatile to do for other things. So let's go down the hands and let's do this. I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm going to show you the other things I did that didn't quite work out so well. So, right? So it's all about giving those tips and tricks. So let's do that. So here is the card I made last week. It was an alternative from the kit. And this is actually from the envelope. And this is from the envelope. And this is actually from March's paper pumpkin kit that actually had Happy Easter. And then I made it where it also opened. I put Easter blessings in here, right? So somebody's going to get this. I still have cards to mail out. And I have Monday's going to be my deadline to mail out cards. I'm going to shut that aside for the moment. So this is the basket we're going to make. But we can make it other ways as well too, right? So like I said, I cased this from Rachel Tesman. And I'm just going to show you how I did it. Now, I'm going to actually make some for my folks at the nursing home, right? And so mine's got, actually, I put the Easter grass in here as well as some Easter eggs. So there's 8 in here. So it's just like for my kiddos or anybody else, I make sure everybody has the exact same amount. If there's any leftovers and it doesn't equal 8, I eat it. So there you go. All right, so this one here, and I'm going to show you how to do it, was actually made from this card. It just shows you how beautiful the cards are in the kits. And I'm making it from this here, all right? Here are the other 2 card bases that are in the kit as well, too, made out of cardstock. I didn't do anything with them, but I'm going to show you how we could, all right? And set that aside. And then I'm going to show you the ones I made. So I usually try to make an example first just to make sure I can get it right. So this is just my example. This is all out of cardstock. So what I want to show you is what I did do with envelopes. I would tell you the envelopes I think are too thin. They're very flimsy in comparison. I want you to see how easy that flexes versus this one. It'll flex, but it's not as easy, right? So I get concerned that if I dump a bunch of stuff in here, how is it really going to hold up between me getting it to them and so forth. I think it's nice. Envelopes are very pretty, but I would challenge you to just double check it first to see if it's really going to be as what you want. Let me take these off to show you. I paper clipped these together because I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. So that's sometimes what I do is I'll just use paper clips. So this is actually the envelope, and I cut it down to 5 3/4 and 5 3/4. No, 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. But I just wanted to show you, so let me just give you a tip and trick. This is actually from the flap of the envelope, and we could definitely use this for something else as well. So when you're going to make your basket, because we're going to do 5 1/4 square, right? And then we're going to score 1 3/4 on all sides. You need to take a look at this piece here in the center that has no cuts. What is this going to look like? Because you're going to have this whole center piece here that is just scored, right? It's not cut at all. So that's going to be the base for your folding up of your basket, all right? So you need to see what it's going to look like to see if it's what you're going to want on the bottom of your card, etc. I did another one here with another envelope, and again, I like it, but I don't like how flimsy it is in comparison when I use the cardstock. Same thing here. Let me show you, because this is pretty, right? I could still use this, but again, if I did, I would most probably put this on top of cardstock so I'd have a sturdier handle, right? Because I'm going to deliver these, and I'd like a sturdy handle. Even though those are glued, these are just really thin and flimsy in comparison. And so when you look at this one, again, before I even cut the lines here, I looked to see how it was going to look. So I knew that this solid portion here that wasn't cut was going to be the wraparound like this. So you get an idea what your design is going to look like. If you got a full pattern like this, and all you're going to see, and we turn this upside down, that's the bottom. And then here's what you get on the sides. So it's just something to think about when you're creating it, and whether you use solid paper or the solid Solid paper, you're not going to have to worry about that, right? But if you're going to use anything with any kind of designs on it that you like, you just need to think about where is it going to be placed. And just, it's easier just to fold on score lines, get a visual, because this is going to be on the bottom, right? And this would be on the sides. So it's just to take a look at how you want that visual to look for you. And you just have to keep in mind that also, if you thought this was going to be your focal point on the side, well, it comes and folds like this, okay? With this in here, so you're not going to see it. I did try to do it this way here, but see how that looks? I don't like the square look on the outside, right? It just gives a nicer, cleaner finish when you come and you adhere it like this. So it's just things to keep in mind as you create, is what is the end result going to look like? Because when I did this one, I thought my flower would show more up on top than it did, and it didn't, right? So I was a little disappointed. And I cut up envelopes for no reason then, right? So this one was okay. I just didn't like how flimsy it was. I like the design artwork. So if I really just wanted to do this, and you see how when you cut the paper, it's just really thinner, right? So if I really wanted to use this, and I may still, I would sit there and glue this down on cardstock just so that it would be more durable, and I could still use it. So I still use this because I have about 10 to 15 to make, and I'm not going to make them all out of that because there's only, I want to say there's 3 card bases to it, the kit. But I do have this paper, so this is actually Floral Delight, and it's got a lot of yellow and flowers and stuff in it, so I will use this since I don't have enough to do everybody one. But I'll make sure that the different areas people live in, they have the exact same one. These would be real pretty too. I mean, this, as you can see, this is the cardstock, right? So we could sit there and make baskets out of this. I chose the one with designs, but I just wanted food for thought is if you sat there and did do the solid color like this, it would be perfect because you could sit there and take these flowers here. So as I was waiting to go live and I was like messing around some more with it, think about it. I'm trying to get a solid blue side for you so you can get a better visual. I don't know about you, but for me, I like to see things sort of visually. It helps me out. You could take the flowers that are in the kit here and just wrap them around. Okay, you could wrap them around. I think that would be pretty. The other thing that you could do is just clip it. Right, clip it here and here and have the one set of flower there, and you can put these on the side, or you can even put on the back, right? So I think that would be real pretty and cute, and I might make that later when I get through doing all my retreat stuff, because I'm getting ready for the retreat, so I have to look at my time and what I have time for. So the other thing is too, is I had to do these a little bit wider. So just another FYI tip for you if you do this, is this handle is 3/4 of an inch wide. This one I had to go like 1/8 of an inch more just so I could get the whole bumblebee there. This one here, the same thing. I had to increase it beyond 3/4 of an inch. And that one's even a little bit more so, just so I could capture the essence of the flowers. So just food for thought. Just depends what you want your handle to be, and so forth and so on. Okay? So let's get to it. Let me show you. We're going to make it. I just want to give you the tips and tricks, right? Because there's nothing like if you go to make something, and like for me, if I'm going to make 10 to 15 of these, I really don't have time to waste on sitting there and making big mistakes, right? So there's just some of those type of things to look for. So what I'm going to do here, this is, right, we already know this is an 8.5 by 5.5. Now, the thing is, we want to be 5 1/4, and I did the math on this. So in order to get the 5 1/4 and 5 1/4, and so that I had my score line. So we have a score line here already, right? And I really want to make sure I use that to help guide me and get this done. So if we sit up there and do 1 3/4, so in order to do this, I just took this already existing score line that came with a card base, and I'm just going to cut at 1 3/4 on this side of it. All right, and that way I don't have to worry about my 1 3/4 line because it's already there. And then I'm just going to flip this over, and this needs to be 5 1/4 inches. Let me get something to show you. So totally, this is going to be a 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and it's going to be scored at 1 3/4 on all sides. Okay, So I'm going to get this then at 5 1/4. I'm just going to come down here and get 5 1/4. Now you can say, well, I really wasted these flowers. I did, but you know, I don't want this line in the middle of anything, right? So that's why I use this as my starting and guide. And so we're just going to get this down to 5 1/4 here. And I'm going to hold on to this because this could be my handle just as easy as the honeycomb, all right? On my original basket, I did just the honeycomb. So now I just have to flip it back, and we're going to score it at 1 3/4. Oh, my scoring thing came off. Okay, let's see here. There it is. Alright, let's get it on here. It'll pop on real easy. Should pop on real easy. Yeah, so we are live, right? So when we're live, there's really a dog in the house, and there's other people as well, too. It's not just me. So, yeah, so you don't hear things. They really are. Okay, so I got my 1 3/4. And you can see when I scored by hand, it's not as heavy as it came in the kit itself. But that's why we're using it, right? So we're going to do 1 3/4 on this side as well, too. And we're going to do 1 3/4 here. So we got 1 3/4 on all sides. This is what we want. Okay, now I was showing you a minute ago how the center, whether the center is here or the center is coming this way, that is what you're going to have, right? So in this particular case, I have choices. I can either fold it and know that that's how it's going to, and you're not going to see it, right? You can see the bottom, but you're not going to see these two sides here. Same thing here. When this is folded over right here. So that's what's going to look around it, and this is what's going to wrap on the sides here. So when I did mine, this is what I did here, I believe. Let's see what we can see what the bottom of it looks like. Okay, see what the bottom of it looks like? So yes. All right. So with that being said, and that's what we're doing, I'm going to come here back to my score line, and we're just going to cut up to the other score line mark at 1 3/4. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing here. That's why it was off. At this 1 3/4 mark here that we've already scored, and we're going to do the same thing. You could hand cut this, right? I just choose to use this here, and we flip it over and do the other sides too. So right, it's no different. That's like creating a box, right? We're going to have scored lines. The only difference is we don't have to trim anything off at an angle here. And I'm just aligning my scored line up right here on my cutting line. Right here's the center. That's all I'm doing. And we're going to get it here. And I'm just using my 1 3/4 mark here, but I can also see my scored line. All right, did we get them all? Yes, we did. Okay. So really and truly, your prep time there is just the most time that you have. So here's our solid part here. So what we're going to do with our sides is we're just going to, I didn't quite go all the way through there. Let's see here. It is okay. Yes, I have 2 pairs of scissors everywhere I go, just in case I can't find one pair, right? I don't know if you do. Let me know if you do that too, because I do that because I'm creating all the time and I bury my scissors. So I always have a spare set handy somewhere. Usually one's where it's supposed to be. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to go back to the center. Here's the center. All right, so then all we're going to do is take these sides, like here, and we're going to connect them. Okay, now the way I did mine is I just used tear and tape, which I thought was the easiest. So it's whatever's easy for you. I mean, glue works just fine too, right? It's just a matter of your patience level. If you want to wait for the glue to dry, or if you use some paper clips like I had. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just making sure of how I'm going to cross over. And I'm just going to put my tear and tape down. The reason why I didn't do anything on the inside is I'm going to put the handle in there, right? To be able to carry for the basket. So I don't know, you'll have to let me know if you do May Day. I used to do May Day when we first moved here in San Antonio, but people didn't seem to do it as much as the people did in South Dakota when we lived in South Dakota. But I was amazed and glad somebody did it, right? But all the kids are pretty much grown up now, so we don't have hardly anybody does it. So the same thing here is we're just going to fold this in. So that's why I see how this is going to be folded in. So if you were expecting to use that and look at it as a focal point, it's not going to be there. So I'm going to do the same thing here. And again, I don't think it really matters to me. It didn't matter to me which one I lapped over because I really wasn't concerned what the opposite side of the box looked like, because it's really not going to be that noticeable. And plus, we're even going to put a flower on one of them. So, I mean, that's why it's not really what I figure a big deal. Okay? But we each create differently. So do what is easiest for you. My daughter's dyslexic, so she looks at things differently than I do. And she's taller than me, so she sees, even from a height perspective, things differently than I do. So you just have to always keep that in mind, right? We always do things a little differently for various reasons. I'm just going to line, I think I'm going to line them up. Just talking about my daughter, and I'm going to like mess that up. Okay, so see how that's together now? So I did not secure these flaps, all right? Because when I go to put this on, when I got through cutting, I believe this was already at, yes, it's already at 3/4 of an inch, so I really didn't have to do anything. And then it's going to be 5.5 inches long, which is fine, right? So what I did is, you could do this one, or you could do this. So you can see this one here, I use the honeycomb. So we'll see what you think. If you're out there and you want to give a comment, let me know if you'd read the leaves as the handle or the honeycomb. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for joining in today. So this is how this would look. So I just thought this was like a lot of, I mean, it's fine. I just liked this other one better because I was trying to figure out what it was. And so you're not really getting the whole flowers there, right? You're just sort of getting the leaf part here. So I'm going to go ahead and use what I did earlier as the honeycomb. So it's all a personal preference, right? Or if you're like me, sometimes I'm creating stuff like 15 items. It could be that I get down to it and I run out of product, right, or whatever I'm doing. So you like honey? I do like the honeycomb too. At first I thought the bee would look nice on it, and it does look nice, but I wasn't sure how people at the nursing home would like a bee on top or not. I'm sure some people would, right? But then some people are like, might even think it's a real bee, just glancing and not really looking. So I thought I'd just keep it simple. All right, so see, I'm just going to tuck this right in here. And I'm going to hold it a minute or not. I'm going to have my paper clips because I brought paper clips. Let it hold it. Thank you. And I'm just going to come over here and put a little glue on each side. You're going to do the same thing. And then we're just going to add a flower. That's all we're going to do. We've got this made, and we're going to add a little grass. Right? I just can't think of an Easter basket without grass. And I know some special peeps can't think of an Easter basket without all kind of goodies in there either. So I just made sure when I did this, I just tried to center the handle right here, right the point comes together. All right, so then I'm just going to let it dry. Now, so when I did this one, you can see, let's see how it looks on the comparison to this one. So when I made this one, you see I had more of the honeycomb there. So I flipped sides. And you see I have nothing but honeycomb on this side, whereas this one I had some flowers. I made sure I had flowers on both sides, and you have flowers down here at the bottom. So I did not do that. You can see I did it a little bit differently. So you see how you get a different look. But it's okay because I've got my 8 Easter eggs right here, and I have my Easter grass. Because the way I figured, once I get this, I have 2 down and 8 to 13 more to go. I got to actually get a physical count because not everybody can eat chocolate, or I shouldn't say that. Maybe the better way to phrase that is they'll eat the chocolate, right? Maybe they're not supposed to be eating chocolate. How about that for health reasons? So I try to be mindful of that, sort of. Depends if they're standing right in front of you or not, right? Okay, so I just put my eggs in here, and I put a little bit more grass in my other one, just because I could. And this is that, this is the grass that looks like, it's like shredded paper, right? It's not the other one that causes static electricity. I just put the rest of my eggs in there. So literally we do have all of our eggs in one basket here. No pun intended, but it's just the way it is. And so then when I put the flower on here, I literally, you can use I grabbed anything I could that was round, but my bone folder works the best. And I just sort of curve the leaves, right? Because I'm going to hand this to somebody. It's going to be 3D for them. And I put it on with a dimensional. I did dimensionals the other day when I taught my class, and they're never sure what it is. So I actually helped put it on for them. And let's see, I'm going to go with the side that doesn't have much on it. Well, it's going to be pretty lonely. All right, see how if I go and add this over here, we're going to do it anyway. And that just tells me I got to add something else. Oops, right? All right, so let's just go ahead and I'm going to add this on here. And yes, on mine I added Wink of Stella. So let's take something here and add something else with it so it's not so lonely. I'm trying to think which one, because I've got several different ones here. Let's see. I don't need a giant one. I had sort of a middle one a while ago. Oh, here we go. And we have a bee. So we could do the bee in this one here. So I'm going to do this here. And this one might not even work either. I might just put the bee over here. I'm just going to put the bee over here. Okay? Yeah. And so with the bee, we could do the same thing. Now this is going to be a little big. So let's just take, so never think that you have to be without adhesive. Just use the border if you're in a position that you need something smaller, or you can cut the other dimensional. But see how these tear off really easy, so you don't have to worry about that. So I am going to go ahead, I'm going to curve the legs a little bit and the wing. So you have decoration on both sides. I've tried some ribbon. I have some really thin ribbon, but it was just too thin. And I really didn't have something like in between. But you could put a nice little bow on here if you wanted to. And just remember, for me, like if I'm going to give it to someone at the assisted living or wherever, I see we can just do that. And we'll add Wink of Stella. And Wink of Stella just gives glitter, sparkle to just about a little bit everything, right? So I'm going to do it over there. And I'm going to come over here on the same side here. And I'm going to do, even though this is just because I can, right? We do things because we can. All right, so there you go. That's just how easy it is to make a basket. So here's the one I just made, and I'll be able to take the paper clips off here. Oops. So yes, so for me, right, preparing for the retreat and finishing getting Easter cards out and everything and all, I've got to do things that are simple, quick, and easy. So there you go. Just a little change just because of the way I changed it. And here's the one right here. I'll have to finish up a blue one for you and see this. So I wasn't going to use all my flowers up on this, right? Because I have to wait till I finish them all and see what I have left to make me do it. So I hope you find this easy. And here again, here's the card I made last week that could easily go with it. These are people that grew up on faith-based and they enjoy that, right? So I hope you enjoyed that, right? Because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. Let's see if I can get back. So yes, I have, in case you don't know, I got we moved cameras. So as we've shifted things or reorganized in the creating area, and we're trying to figure out where the cameras work best, because we've got 2 computers here. I've got 2 lights, 2 cameras, well, actually 3 if I use a computer. So it's a matter of trying to figure out what works best, right? So I hope you enjoyed that, right? Because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So there's no reason why we can't go do that. Easter's next weekend, in case you don't realize that. So it's definitely time to get your little Easter baskets or May baskets or Mother's Day ready to go, right? As well as Easter cards. So be blessed. Have an amazing week, an amazing weekend, because I'm going to finish up my retreat stuff, and because I got to get it out in the mail next week. So I want to thank you also for supporting us, not only here, but also on YouTube and Instagram, because Miss Zoe is supposed to be posting pictures on Instagram for me. So we'll have to see what she's doing now that she's got a job. So be blessed. Look forward to seeing you next week with Teach Me Nana. Bye.